Next topic is development of lateralization and lateralization in other species. Lateralization is not limited to humans or even to primates. Now, this was something which until 3 decades ago, the idea was that the process of lateralization is uniquely human. But recently, the further studies have suggested that it is not the case, and you can have the lateralization process or the process of lateralization can also be seen in non-humans as well. Now, this due to the fact that you have the asymmetry functioning which is there in the brain, and it has been noticed in the cases of birds and rats as well. The emerging or general picture that emerges from the research on vertebrate species basically conclude that left hemisphere is categorized to stimuli and established behavior with focus on attention, whereas the right hemisphere is used to respond to any threat or in terms of expressing some kind of emotions. Japanese macaque monkeys show lateralization of species, specific vocalization and anatomical arrangements in songbirds are basically analogous to those in human, so they can be comparable. Now, the process with regard to specific vocalization and anatomical arrangement, so you can see that in non-human these elements are pretty much comparable to humans. This evidence suggests that human lateralization for speech is part of a larger evolutionary pattern. So we cannot rule out the role of patterns that have been seen in the process of the evolution as far as humans are concerned. So now we will look at the process of the development in humans as well as non-human studies. The study on perception of vocalization in Japanese macaque monkeys showed better performance when the vocalizations were given to the right ear. So we will look at the specific procedures and specific studies with regard to these two types of species. Now, the researchers presented the vocalizations to either the left or the right ear when they were conducting the procedure on 5 macaques. All 5 macaques showed better performance when the vocalizations were given to the right ear. Only one of the 5 monkeys from other species showed a right ear advantage for macaque sounds. Now, these results suggest the exciting possibility that human lateralization of speech is part of a larger pattern in which a number of species show lateralization on the left half of the brain for important species-specific words. Then this view was reinforced by another impressive work on bird song. This was done by Nottbaum, who has pointed out that 3 basic developmental sequences may be observed with young birds. In the first type, the bird develops a normal song, even if it is completely isolated at birth and deafened at this hatching stage. Example of this type are chickens and ring doves. In second type, the bird will develop the normal song if isolated but not if deafened. Song sparrows are an example. Finally, in the third variety, either isolation or deafening at an early age produces an abnormal song. Chaffinches and white-crowned sparrows fit in this pattern. Nottbaum, he has also found a number of analogs to human speech in the third type of songbird. First, these birds go through a period of subsong similar to human babbling, in which the song is distinct from the adult version in number of ways. Secondly, birds in different areas learn different dialects of the same sound. And third, the consequences of deafening the bird are different at different ages. If the bird is deafened before it has begun to sing, it develops a highly abnormal song. If, however, the deafening is delayed until after the song has developed, it has no effect on the motor output. Finally, Norton Bob has found that the left half of the brain is more intimately involved than the right half in the songs of chaffinches. The major structure of the vocal system of chaffinch is called syrinx. Now, syrinx is the vocal organ of a bird, and each side of it is connected by the hypoglossus. Hypoglossus nerve to corresponding side of the brain. Nottebohm found that when the left hypoglossus was severed or damaged, the nature of the song was seriously disputed, with some parts missing. And this was basically the finding that was emerged out of the studies conducted on that it was the parts were missing and replaced by unstructured burst of noise. The same operation on the right side leaves the song intact. So on the left side you see a lot of changes in terms of the replacement by unstructured burst of noise, but the same operation when it is done on the right side, it leaves the song intact. So there was no change that was observed on the right side. So you see that we have the animals who have the lateralization with regard to left and right side, and how they are comparable to the process that we have seen in humans. To conclude, human lateralization of speech is not an isolated event among animals, and that the brain mechanisms underlying speech may have evolved in ways that are analogous to how similar structure in other species have evolved.